Beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm Rick Collins, and I serve as the Vice President of the Southminster Presbyterian Church Foundation. I'm going to give a very brief introduction about our foundation, and then we'll have the opportunity to hear from one of our 2025 grant recipients. If you are a member of Southminster, you are also a member of our Southminster Foundation. Not only can you give money to support the foundation, you can also participate by giving of your time and talents. We'd like you to think about serving on the Southminster Foundation board, or perhaps joining one of the foundation committees. There's the grant committee. They help identify and select the grant recipients. The financial committee, which manages our investment portfolio, or the promotions committee, which gets the word out about the wonderful foundation and the work we're doing. This year marks the 46th year of our foundation. We have provided financial support to community organizations that provide food, shelter, medical care, and other social services to people in need. The foundation also helps to fund the mission work of our church, including the children's mission trips, both locally and internationally. Some interesting facts about our foundation. The foundation began in 1979 with a generous gift of $250,000 from the Davidson family. At the end of the first quarter of this year, the foundation's overall portfolio was over $1 million. Not only that, the foundation has donated over $1 million since its inception. Of that, about $600,000 has gone into unconditional grants to the community, $400,000 to the Southminster Mission Fund, and about $150 was a loan to the church many, many years ago when we rebuilt. This year, the Southminster Foundation generously gave $18,900 to community organizations and $18,300 to our church's mission work. This year's community grant recipients include Finability, Home Plate Youth Services, Just Compassion, Youth Contact, Family Promise of Greater Washington County, Aloha UMC Safe Rest Village, and Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon. You're going to hear more about these community organizations throughout the year in our Minute for Mission segments. Finally, I'd like to thank you once again on behalf of the Foundation Board for continuing to support our Southminster Foundation so that we can continue to demonstrate our love for our neighbor. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing about one of our wonderful 2025 grant recipients, Youth Contact. I'd like to introduce Patricia Seitz, Executive Director, and Dianne Lamberty, Clinical Director, who will describe the great work they're doing in our community. Please welcome Patty and Dianne.
Thank you so much. We are so happy to be here and so happy to receive this grant. We are so proud of what we do, and we're so eager to share what we do. We have been a nonprofit mental health, behavioral health agency since 1976. We've been in Washington County, and we have 2 programs that we do. We do an outpatient, which we do treatment for youth for 0 to 18 and their families. And we also have therapists that are in the school programs as well, who are put in the schools to help also students there and work with their families. One of our greatest, I think, accomplishments or things that we're very proud of is that we intend to include the whole family. We really believe that communities have a huge effect on people and their well-being, and that children obviously need lots of support from their families. Families have come and gone through a lot of hard times, and then we treat a lot of families with intergenerational trauma. So we're there to help repair and bring some of that attachment and happiness back into their lives the best we can. We also believe that we're in their lives for a very short time, and that the family and community is there for the rest of their lives. And that can be caretakers or whomever is there to be their attachment figure. Our mission is dedicated to serving and strengthening children, youth, and families through intervention, prevention, and support services that are community-based, family-focused, and child-centered. We have our outpatient office in Hillsborough, and as I said, we're in Beaverton, Forest Grove, and Hillsborough school districts. Even though we've been here since 1976, we have grown in our what I'm going to talk about next, which I guess we can just go to that slide, as our evidence-based approach, which is a model program that's recognized by SAMHSA, and it's recognized for its excellence, particularly in our approach to effectiveness with diverse populations. We really built a strong, enduring in partnerships with our school districts and implementing best practices in our behavioral health while maintaining cultural sensitivity. We really believe that in our outpatient, we are Medicaid only, so we provide a lot of resources as well for our families who are in need. And we also want them to feel valued, and that what they're feeling is important for their family is also valued. So when they come in, we want to hear what they're interested in working on, and we want to provide that for them. We also have strong community partnerships. Like I said, we've been in the Hillsborough School District since 1980. We work with the juvenile department. We work with Washington County wraparound services, and we get a lot of support for them as well. Our outpatient, as I said, is, and we'll go a little bit into what we do in each one, is Medicaid. And our school, though, is completely grant-based, so that any child can walk in and get help without any barriers. Doesn't matter if they have a deductible, if they're in need, and we can help that family do that.
We can go to the next slide. So we really focus on being culturally responsive and equitable in our treatment, recognizing systemic barriers to finding therapy and treatment for families. Sometimes it's linguistic, so we have Spanish-speaking therapists at our outpatient and in some of the schools. We have a kind of a floating school therapist who can also step in to help non-Spanish speaking school therapists provide services. We do some groups in Spanish for migrant families facing specific challenges. We've always had that as a mission in the organization. So since the conception, it's been focusing on making sure that there aren't barriers, or making up for some of the barriers that are in the mental health field by intentionally hiring and helping families to find services. We have a few Spanish-speaking therapists at the outpatient clinic, and we're continually getting new interns. We take student interns from the different graduate schools and really help grow their learning as therapists as well. And sometimes there's barriers for them in their education as well that we want to help them find a good fit for serving communities that they care about. Even in families, so like sometimes maybe a parent hasn't been able to find therapy and now they're coming in with their kid, and so it's nice that they are able to get services for their whole family when maybe the system has failed them in the past. So we would just want to make sure every family is feeling heard and seen and taken care of. Go to the next.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Doing this together, so we'll see how the microphone works here. So we have a 2-pathway service system, and one is our school-based program. Therapists are embedded in the school, so it means they have an office there. People can walk there. The school, it's run by grants and some money from the school districts themselves. They help with everything from prevention to higher level. They do a lot of suicide screening so they can get right in there, get them the help they need to their therapist. They take that on, or they help the family find services. We provide safety planning for them and help them do that. And we're very conscious of how scary that is for a family to hear that the student might be feeling that way or self-harming or having suicidal thoughts. And so we kind of take an approach, which I think most therapists would take this approach, but I think our agency really looks at benevolence. We believe that a family or a parent is trying their very best, caregiver. And we believe that there's a lot of shame that might be there from past mistakes, things that got in the way. And so we want to really engage and bring out the things they have done right and help them build the skills they need to change this systemic relationship so that they feel attached and they feel like they can nurture and set structures and make their child feel safe. So, the burden of a child shouldn't be to be an adult before they're ready. That's their job is to be a child. So we're very, very conscious about helping the parents do that. And it's a very active therapy as well. We have a lot of things where they're doing things together so they experience a different experience. So it's not about just telling them, although we help them with resources as well. So that is our school-based, and I went a little bit into outpatient, but go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, and then so school-based provides therapy and prevention. So there's even like presentations, different topics in, say, health classes or things like that too. But outpatient is more regular therapy appointments that focus on mental health or substance use treatment using the same approach that Patty mentioned. And the therapists there also coordinate with the broader system. So like if somebody's has health issues that they want to help advocate for them, they call the doctor or talk to the school and make sure that they're getting the services that they need at their school, or kind of it's very kind of like focusing on making sure that the health of the whole is working. So that goes down into population health. So trying to just make sure that everybody's getting the services that they need at whatever level that may be, and trying to get rid of the barriers that might get in the way of that historically. We also, it's nice having the therapists in the schools and the outpatient, because we can talk with each other to make sure that families and kids are getting the services at whatever level is appropriate for them. And so it's nice having that pathway between the two types of programs. We also get together and staff cases and assist each other in between, the school and the outpatient therapists. A lot of training for all of them.
Next slide. Yeah. So some of the things that we do in the school is addressing risk factors. So in prevention work, they always talk about we're looking at risk factors and protective factors. What are the things that are going well, and what are the things that are at risk? Adverse childhood experiences, we identify and provide support for children who experience trauma, abuse, and other adverse events that impact their development. So that is happening both at outpatient and in the school, but we do that. Academic struggles, things that might be getting in the way of that, which could be something that's going on in a family transition. A divorce might be happening, or somebody died. There's a lot of, of course that always happens, but since 2020, there's been a lot more of grief and loss of income, loss of family members, loss of a sense of feeling safe. So that might get in the way. They might be on IEPs at school. We can help assist the parents of how to advocate for their child. So we're really always trying to empower the parent to know that they have the right to advocate in a way to help their child, and that they have the right to find some things out, because sometimes they feel that they don't know how to manage or work in the school system because it can be complicated. We also really help youth with limited social supports. So by providing, and I think I go into that a little bit more, in the next slide, but providing social supports. And that is our groups that we provide, that's our peer supports, and we also do peer mentoring in the high schools as well. So if you want to go to the next slide. So I talked about the protective factors, and those are the things, the strengths that we want to do, and this is always with our families. We're looking at what are their strengths as well. So peer mentoring is happening in the high schools where you have seniors who will come and take maybe kids that are moving from middle school to high school who've have some at-risk behavior, have anxiety about going to high school, maybe their family doesn't know how to navigate the school, they're not sure how to be successful, and we pair them up so they have that mentoring. And the youth contact therapist is kind of in charge of that pairing, leads the group, trains the peer mentors, but they are there to kind of help mentor through. How do I find my classroom? How can I join a club? Because anything that we can get a kid to feel connected to their school, the better they're going to be. They feel a part of the community. They feel they're making a difference. And as we know, adolescents are always trying to find meaning in the world. They want to find their place. So that's been a very successful program, and we're very proud of that. And it's really, we have really small things that happen and very big things that happen. It's very exciting for us. Support groups are safe spaces for people. We have our LGBTQ support groups that help kids kind of find a way to feel connected to the school, to find support around their identities, and also they want to do something to help their school too. They want to be a part of the community and bring that out in a positive way. We do skill building, and that's more for, say, we have at least 2 groups going all the time. That could be the kids there's a lot of anxiety that's going on. So we have anxiety groups. We might have, I had a girls empowerment group, which was really girls who had experienced a lot of trauma. We have anger management groups. So groups, we kind of go work with the school collaboratively and see what the needs are for that school. What are they seeing? What's happening there that we can kind of provide some services with and build that. And anything that we can do to foster a connectedness to that school, to one person in the school, one adult in the school. When I worked in the school, I used to try to get the principal involved. The kids would feel so proud that somebody in a power position was really cared about what they had to do and brought in their ideas. And we bring in the district. I used to bring in the district. I was relentless that way. And then be so proud. And they would be so proud to show how they did a kindness group or how they helped somebody that day. So these are small, but I think very powerful, effective things that is unique to what Youth Contact can bring to the school as well. We have very good outcomes. I think that's the next slide. We track our outcomes through self-report. We talk about, do kids feel they're improving their problem-solving skills? Can they identify one person in the school they feel a connection to? Do they feel a stronger connection to their school? Family engagement is that we always, even in the schools, we believe that kids who are 18 still need their parents in a different way, right, than a kid who's 14 and a kid who's 6. But we believe that sometimes it feels like they don't need their parents. And we're always I used to call a parent and say, they really need you now more than ever. They need you. And it would just be such a relief for them because I think they felt that wasn't true. And so family engagement is very high because we ask when we call a parent and say, hey, we got a referral for your child at school. We really want to hear what you have to say because you know that child better than anybody else because there's nobody else that knows us better. Everyone comes in as the expert trying to tell a parent what to do. We feel they have a lot to bring to the table, and we want to have that collaborative. We also give referrals for food, for clothes, for legal advice, and there's a good follow-through with that as well.
Okay, next. So that's the school, and then the outpatient behavioral health services. We do the same evidence-based therapies for kids and families. This combines, we don't separate mental health and substance use treatment, so they have the same therapist if that works on if they have mental health things that they're coming for and or substance use issues. So they don't have to see multiple people, and it's just comprehensive. Everything is treated together because we don't see that you can separate those things. And we are, the kid is the client, but we treat the whole family, and so yeah, and even, it depends on who's important in their life. It could be extended family, it could be, a grandparent raising a kid, or an aunt, or whoever is their most important, or like their guardian. And yeah, we just, same as in the school, we link the families to community supports and services. So helping them find, low-cost legal services, or resources like food, clothes. Sometimes families are on the brink of homelessness, or are living in kind of transient housing, and so helping connect them with community supports that can help. Since we have been in Washington County so long, we have a good sense of what's out there and how to connect families with that. Yeah, 98% of families participate in treatment, so there might be, a stray 18-year-old here and there, but I would say everybody has some sort of family participation in treatment. And if, say, somebody does come in more alone, the clinician will work to help find those supports for the youth to be able to have that support. And this helps to reduce conflict in the family, increase positive interactions at home, which is a productive factor for their whole life. And then again, yeah, by addressing mental health and substance use together, and involving the entire family, it's sustainable change that extends beyond when they're in therapy and can last, hopefully, their life. It could also be intergenerational change. So, some change that may have not happened in past generations, then this therapy can help to have the whole system improve. We also do a therapy called parent-child interaction therapy. It's an evidence-based therapy for ages 2 to 5. It includes real-time coaching, so the therapist provides guidance to the parent with a little in-ear piece. So the therapist is talking to the parent as they're interacting with their child. This helps build secure relationships, so the parents learn techniques to strengthen their attachment and create emotional safety with their kids. It increases social skills, so children develop improved behavior regulation and positive interactions through these play sessions. So the talking, the interaction is going on while they're playing. It promotes resilience, so it improves family relationships and provides a foundation for children to overcome challenges and thrive. The therapy provides innovative evidence-based approach, directly assessing risk factors like the poor parent-child attachment. By working with both parent and child together, we create meaningful change in family dynamics that supports healthy child development. So just is like real-time bonding that the therapist helps guide, and the parent can really feel the sense of change and mastery. They call it mastery in the therapy of learning these skills that they can take and use as the kid gets older.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on to that one of the things when they have this little earpiece in, we watch them through a one-way mirror. They know that. And one of the things that we often are doing, and this is just a crux of our therapy, is telling the parent when it's working. Like,
right, when they're doing something
great
well.
job, Mom.
Yeah.
For anybody who's struggled with kids who've been through trauma, who might have been separated through foster care, there's a lot of healing that can happen and will happen. And so just to know, like, our thing is, you can do this and we will be there with you, and it's going to take some time. But one of those things is really like letting them know what a wonderful job they're doing and hitting it. And you can see it. I mean, the kid is happy, they're happy. I mean, it's wonderful. It's for us to watch. It's like such a great experience. So one of our specialized services that we provide via telehealth, actually, in Spanish, is a migrant for migrant families. So this came about, I think, maybe around 2020 or a little bit before. We had this through the Beaverton School District, saying these moms are just like not knowing what to do. They don't know where to go. And it was always Not that dads should always be involved. We love getting our dads in, but moms seem to come to this group particularly. And it really helped them to come in and bond with each other. And also, she's bilingual and bicultural, our therapist. She could break down the stigma of mental health. So for a lot of populations, it means you're crazy. That means you're going to kill, you know what I mean? That means you're psychotic, you have schizophrenia. Yes, some people have those things, but it isn't always that. It can be anxiety, it could be transitional things are happening with a family. It could be trauma that we can help heal. So breaking that stigma down was really helpful. Then the moms got together for coffees and kind of helped each other out for childcare and talked to each other. So it created, like I had said at the beginning, a community. So really trying to help that. And what was really sweet is that sometimes she had it so that was no barrier, no cost, nothing. You can just sign up. And the Beaverton district would send out reminders about it. And people would literally be cooking and have their headsets on, or working in the fields, or working in a factory and put it on so they could hear and be a part of it. So it was really accessible to everybody and really helpful for them. And it's just a group that's close to my heart because it's a real struggle. So that's one of our specialized groups that we're very excited about and still ongoing today. We do it in Hillsborough and Beaverton. And I know that everybody can support here, which I hear is what we have a legacy going on, and I am very much behind that. But if anybody's interested in having some interest in also giving to Youth Contact, call me. Come see our place. I'll talk to you about it. That's also something, of course, we are, like everybody, trying to keep everything up and going as we're building up after 2020 and trying to keep our agency moving forward. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.